That video is me building the CPU cards for our system. These are surface mount I/O cards, and it's basically the same process. But I got a call from Connor, the guy that originally bought the boat, or that we bought the boat from, not the guy that actually sold it to us, but the guy who actually owned it. And he wanted to know if we were keeping an eye on the boat, because he drives by it every day, is what he said. He said that it had been raining in San Francisco a lot. And so I went on the weather station, and it showed like 90s for the entire week. So we called our friends out in San Francisco and asked them, and they said it had rained one night. It was a light drizzle, and that was it. And otherwise no rain at all. It had been pretty much dry and drought, just like it has been for years. So I texted Connor back and said, I said, what is it that you're looking for here? And he said, well, I know it doesn't have a bilge pump, and I know that nobody's taking care of it. I said, no, I've added a wet exhaust. We installed a bilge pump, months and months ago. Or no offers to pay me back the $150 that he ripped me off for. So, it's the way it goes with him, I guess. He just thinks that what goes around is just what goes around, and it'll never come back on him, I guess. I tend to think that I should avoid that. So my next video is just general. I've been putting the GoPro on the front of my bicycle when I ride it around every night, and I do a 35 to 45, maybe an hour long, bike ride, and try to keep my heart rate just beating and pounding and pouring sweat. And I typically get home and my chest's all wet. And, as soon as I sit down, it's like my hair is raining down my face when I get back. But I want to lose this little gut that I've had since I was like 14. And the only way I can see to do that, because I work out on the Bowflex like 3 days a week, so the only way I see to do that is to add a bunch of cardio. And I've had the same size gut for years and years and years. It never goes away. It just stays the same. It doesn't add, it doesn't subtract, it's just the same. I've got a lot more musculature since I got the Bowflex. But so anyway, work is swamped, still absolutely swamped. Got way more than I can keep up with going around here. And the end result is that I've got lots of money coming in, and thanks to Jerry, very little going out except for necessities, like I have had to buy a few things for the bike because I just bought it, it's used, and so I'm not really all that confident in all of its systems and components. Some things were loose. I had to buy new wheels. I'm going to have to re-cable it and tune it because the cables are all sticky and dry, and they don't really flow. So I'll click the shifter, and a few minutes, nothing will happen, and then a couple of minutes later it'll drop down a gear or whatever. It of course shifts to the higher gear when you pull on the cable. That works immediately, but when you're shifting to where the derailleur's pulling on the cable, it doesn't cut the mustard. A tour of Boulder, it's not in any particular order. I can't really put together a full direct route around town, but I tried to save some of the more interesting picturesque views. All of this is routes through town, pretty much. There's no riding out of the city into the country. There's riding around the edge of the city in the country, and there's riding through the bike paths in town, which this city's just packed with. And you'll see there's just bicycles everywhere in this town. it's kind of a problem for Jerry and his seeing eye dog. The dog has to be, capable of dealing with that. Most cities just don't have the bicycling that we do here. We even have rental bikes, which I think I've got footage of. Anyway, this is my lazy job, which I work really hard at, but it's all little, teeny stuff. So Bowflex and physical exercise, get in shape so that I can deal with the boat in a good way. I pretty much just, I think I'm just gonna stop dating for a while unless something just falls out of the sky into my lap. It's just not gonna happen for a while. Concentrate on the boat, getting the truck fixed, little piddly things done to it. And what I'm gonna probably buy the refrigerator and the composting head. I've decided not to do the air head. Some of the reviews I saw showed certain aspects of that one aren't as good as the other one. So I'm going to buy the other one. And then when I head back to the boat this next time, we're going to try to move it up into the Delta to a different marina where we could actually stay on the boat when we come out there, or when we go out there. And the marina right next door to this specific marina is also a boatyard, so we can have the mast pulled and replace the rigging while we're there. But I want to have a toilet in the boat, and I want to have some refrigeration that's actually part of the boat and not an electric plug-in refrigerator. So that'll probably be the next projects for the next trip, plus installing the Garmin. I'm going to get two transom transducers, put them on a pole, and then we can basically drop the pole off the back of the boat, attach it, in some way. We'll figure out when we get to the boat, because it's kind of hard to do from here. But the transducer on the bottom of the boat for the tactic is extremely erratic, 70, 80 feet, and then 10 feet, and then 80 feet, and then 10 feet. And, obviously the ground isn't, like this underneath. So, I'll get one by Garmin that's for a transom mount for like a little boat, and we'll put it on pole, and maybe an extendable pole or something that we could also use for the GoPro, and we got dolphins off the bow or something, porpoise. But we can use that to tell our actual depth on the Garmin while we cruise across the bay and up into the Delta, because it's going to be important for us to know how deep the water is underneath us while we're cruising around in the bay for the first time. A 6.25 foot keel down there, underwater line. Granted, it's the first time I've driven a boat with such a deep keel. First time I've ever driven a boat with a keel at all, so it might be a good thing. I'll learn depth early, but it's vital that I get that. So we'll put it on a pole, we'll be able to stick it in the water, tell how deep the water is, and then when we buy through holes, when we haul the boat and buy through holes, we can take that inside and stick it in a stowage somewhere, and if ever we have problems with our through holes and something isn't going right, we can unplug that, plug this in, throw it off the transom, and attach it to the boat, and we'll have depth and all that on the pole. So that's the plan right now. When we get the boat moved, I would have more opportunity to work on things like windows and hatches and replacing that kind of stuff. So that's my update. Hope you enjoy the bicycle rides. It's a pretty cool town. Bye.